Attention, everybody. The views expressed on the show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and/or their affiliate and supported ministries and/or nonprofits. And I forgot to pull the music up because I am silly and behind on everything today. And I'm going to try and think of stuff that I can say throughout this whole entire thing until the music starts to play. And it's going to be really hard to do, but I think I can do it.
See? You did it.
There you go. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
That's good life advice.
Yes. Very good. Very good indeed.
Our volumes were way too loud earlier.
Yeah.
Here we go. Good morning! Coming to you live from Acts Media Group headquarters here in beautiful Springfield, Missouri. It's the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay with your hosts, Matt and Jay. And the valley is too wide. Anyways, I couldn't think of a name, so I just put Matt's Impressions.
Impressive.
It is impressive. I'm going to try to be impressive.
That was good.
You know what's impressive? An elephant on an ant. That's pretty impressive.
2, 3.
That's all. Man, it is hot in here.
It is hot in here.
Woo.
We're smoking.
Yeah.
Of course, three of us are wearing long sleeve shirts, and you're wearing a flannel
And a leather
and
jacket.
a leather jerkin there.
Which,
And I love short sleeve. It's that kind of weather.
Good morning,
Finally.
everybody, and welcome to the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
My name's Steve.
my name is Tanner.
Glad to have everybody on board with us today. Today's topic, Matt's impressions.
Interesting.
You're very impressive.
My
Yes.
impression of... I'm Joe Bidening it today. I'm kind of
sorry,
getting a little mixed
you know.
up with my words there.
By the way, I got to say this. Rachel, I'm sorry, but I did make it okay. Because,
Were you supposed to text her and tell you made it home or made it here okay?
yes.
Hey, he made it here okay. Made it here okay. It's Monday morning. Sorry about the last show you guys watched. It seemed like I think we were distorting in the microphones a little bit. I've turned everything down. Tell us how it sounds, everybody. We want to make sure that we sound good.
You know, I have such a bad habit of doing those things.
Horrible habit.
To where somebody's like, tell me when you make it there. And then I'm like, okay, I will. I definitely will. And I remind myself like 1,000 times. And then I'll make it there.
It's
and then,
recorded, Steve.
And then I'll just go on, I'll be like, well, I have all this to do. I'm doing this, And then I'll completely forget. Like an hour later, I'll be like, I should probably text him that I made
It's
it
really
there.
hot in here.
You know, and I'm usually really good
cooling
about
off a little
texting
bit right
Rachel
now.
and telling her
Feels like.
that that I made it to the studio.
I'm bad at texting people back, period.
Yes, you are.
That's true.
I own that. I understand. I get it. I understand that. I mean, and I'm sorry if you think that I'm like ignoring you or something. 9 times out of 10, what I've done is I've been in the middle of something. I look down and say, "Oh, I'll text them back later," and then I'll completely forget about it because I get distracted. And
Or if you're asleep, I don't call you when I know you're asleep. So I'll just go ahead and text you, and hopefully you'll get the text.
Well, that's what I do too. And I call you as
well, of course, people also need to realize that during the day when everybody's awake, I'm asleep.
Yeah, you have to be.
And then at night when I wake up, it's usually too late to call people back. Because I don't think you want me calling you at 2 o'clock in the morning.
No.
Unless it was an absolute emergency.
Right.
Right, Jay? Of course, I've called Jay at 3 o'clock in the morning before, telling him I am out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't know how I got into a fight at a party, and he came out in the middle of nowhere, picked me up. That's when I had the blue on my face, the blue stuff on my face. We were drunk.
Oh.
And he didn't tell me. We went into a particular restaurant that rhymes with awful.
Uh-huh.
And it was actually it's not awful. It's really delicious, and I love it.
It's very good.
But we walk in, and we've told this story before, but it's still funny. And we went there every weekend. Every Saturday night, after leaving the bar, we would go there, and we would have I would have a chocolate chip waffle with extra chocolate chips and hash browns with a whole bunch of stuff on them.
A lot of people go to that place after they
Scuttlebutt, I think they call it. But yeah, and well, we'd eat other things too. But I walk in, and everybody turns and looks at me, and they have this weird look on their face. I'm like, what? What's on your face? What do you mean what's on my face? you got some blue all over this one side of your face. And I look over at Jay. I'm like, what? Go in the bathroom. You really should look in the mirror. You have blue on your face. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? I just thought it was kind of funny.
It is.
And he said it with a serious face. It was funny.
You may want to go in the bathroom and look.
I should have done a Braveheart speech right then and there.
Oh, that
You
would have been
should've.
cool.
Yep.
Hey, I'm William Wallace. That was almost a Sean Connery impression.
Almost.
And if he were here, I didn't even say that right. If he were here, he would consume the English, bolts of fires from his eyes. And I'm not going to say the rest of that because,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's a pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. It's a really good movie. Historically accurate too, by the way.
But some colorful language.
Morning, Jim Whining.
I think it's hilarious because every time I've been into one of those restaurants too, it's like people will have a conversation with you from across the restaurant.
Oh yeah.
And everybody will just stare, like just pitch into the conversation.
Oh yeah.
Like I have not been to a
I had
restaurant
a
like that
habit.
in a long time.
I had a habit when I go into these places drunk, I would get the whole crowd involved in something or other.
A sing along.
That's happened. That's happened.
I've seen my friend did that. He would get them to start singing.
Quiet over there, Jay.
Just don't say tips for everybody or drinks for everybody, because then you're liable.
Yeah.
My friend did that. Drinks for everybody, and are you kidding? Oh, I'm so.
You had a
happy.
one-legged waitress named Eileen. You wouldn't want to tip her. So,
Was that a good impression or what?
you taking off your biker pants?
Unzipping them.
I was like, he's undressing over here.
Normally it's freezing cold in here.
Yeah,
and
so
these
he's
are
like
helpful
all
to me, but,
winter geared up.
Yeah.
I almost need to go open up a window or something.
Yeah, it is a little warm.
It is
in here.
insanely warm in here.
That's
I don't
probably
know.
because you guys got long sleeve shirts.
Yeah, and I feel both the heat and the cold.
And
I
this
don't
is
feel
Egyptian
right now.
cotton.
Egyptian cotton.
Yes.
It's Egyptian.
Very nice.
I think Egyptian cotton has cat hair in it, doesn't it?
I don't know.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
it
will
does.
tell you, I blame the Egyptians for why cats are so lazy. You see cats and you see how smart they are, but they're like, no, I don't want to do that. And like they hear their name, they don't go. They're like,
So
Cats are funny.
I'm just saying, yeah, it's like they're pampered. It's like
Mom and Dad's cat knows that she can get under your little brother's skin. And one day she chased him into the back room, which is her room, and stood at the door looking at him with his ears back, staring at him and not letting him by. And he's like, "Dad!" And I couldn't help him right away because I was laughing too hard. Because she had him backed in a corner, and she was being real honest. She was enjoying herself.
I bet.
Every time he walks by, she'd bat at his head. She does that to a
Sounds
lot
like
of people.
what
though.
my sister did when I was a kid. No, just kidding. They were good sisters
Right.
once in a while.
you just have to say that because you're on air. I
Uh-huh.
understand.
There's a wink, wink.
Yeah, right.
I'm
I
trying
winked
to
with the wrong eye. I meant
I haven't got that email yet.
Blue
Jim.
Manchu is what Larry Melton said. Blue Manchu.
Blue Man Chew.
That was good, Larry.
This is a horrible angle.
What is-
Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Keith Bradford. Well, he was on. He still may be on, but good to see you. And let's see, Missy Davison, how are you?
No, Jim, I have not got a email from Jackie. What's the title of it? Is it to multiple recipients? Give me the title of it so I can try to look for it. I haven't seen one from her. Just letting you know.
By the way, Jim, I'm going to be giving Matt my application for Helping Hands.
Okay. Yeah,
You heard it here first, folks.
he's rolling up the sleeves.
Oh,
I'm gonna
man.
go. Jay, how you doing today? You guys?
I'm doing great.
He looks like
I'm
a
sorry,
hard
I've gotta
worker,
open a window.
rolling up the sleeves and getting ready to go to work.
you know what's weird is I don't feel like I feel just fine right now. Like I just feel warm temperature. I run at 99 normally, so
You run at 99. That's
Why
fast.
is he going out there for the heat? The thermostat's over here.
That's fast.
I tell you what, every time I hit the treadmill, I do surprise myself. I'm like a human. I don't.
You run the treadmill and it starts smoking. You're running so fast.
Yeah, right. That's how that's exactly what happens. In fact, you called it. You called it right there. So I actually met this guy who has my same first name recently. He's a musician. I saw him at a coffee shop in the city.
Coffee. I forgot.
And I don't mean recent. I mean like a few weeks ago.
too late now.
Before all this. I mean like I don't know, around 4 weeks ago, before all the close down and stay at home stuff. And so I met this guy at a coffee shop. So I started talking to him because I saw he had these big like headphones that you would only
Morning,
use
Mary
like
Rose.
if you're doing some sort of creative work, like what we do, right?
You call that creative? This is creative?
Yeah,
Oh.
It's technically a form of creative. It's production. And so I asked him, "Hey, are you editing music?" And he was. And it turns out he did the same theater program that I did. He's like, "Hey, have you ever heard of insert theater name here?" And
Love it.
That was good.
and
Need to start doing that.
and I was like, "Yeah, I'm in that." And he's like, "Really?"
Brilliant, son.
And insert
Insert
restaurant
name
name here. Yeah. And I was like, and I was like, "Yeah, what's your name?" And he was like, "I'm Tanner." And I'm like, "I'm Tanner."
Tanner and Tanner. That sounds like a
It
law
was
firm.
terrifying because really we both had so many things in common. It was kind of freaky.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is freaky.
Only difference was he was the worship pastor at a church. Insert church name here.
That's going to be the new phrase now.
I do that to keep people. I do that to keep people's privacy and keep them safe. Also, I don't know the theater program that I'm in is kind of the biggest youth theater non-for-profit in the country. So it is officially, which is awesome. And it's Christian based. And I've given you all the things that you need in order to look it up because it's in the name.
You can tell me the name after we're done or off air.
It's in the name. Yeah, it actually started.
It's an acting troupe designed for Christian youth, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
That
it's
was a
like
good way of putting it.
it's like theater for youth that are Christian.
Yeah. It's a
Good
theater
morning,
troupe.
Valerie.
It actually
Is
started.
that how Yoda would say the
Good
name?
morning,
Yes.
Diana.
Exactly. Yes.
It started in California, and it's just grown. It's grown exponentially.
Troupe for Christian youth acting. It is.
I actually think that they're trying to open up a few more locations. I can't disclose all of them because I've actually got more information that they don't want me to talk about.
Mas information.
Yes.
Information.
Information.
No.
That being said, it's my last year being able to do it, so I'll have to be like in it. Whenever I'm older, I think that if I have the time, I'll probably be like an assistant director or a director of one of their shows.
Cool.
That'd be
Well,
fun.
I'm not. I mean, I'm asking Jim a question about.
About insert name here. Is that a full thing?
Well, Larry had a good drive-in service yesterday at their church. They had 2 services.
Wow.
Yeah, because they all get out there and they sit in a parking lot, right?
Yep.
And they tune their radios to because they have a big FM transmitter there, right?
Uh-huh.
And so people turn on their radios to whatever channel they designate.
Insert name here.
And well, I mean, starting this week, we're going to start mentioning. I'm going to do some research and make sure that I'm right. We're going to start mentioning businesses in Springfield
Yeah.
that are operational and what they do and how you can shop or go about their business.
That's cool. Great.
Like I can tell you, GameStop is in business, but you cannot go in the store. You have to go onto their website, order it, pick the store pickup option, and then they send you an email whenever it's being processed, and then they send you another email when it's done, and you have to go there and you knock on the door, ring the bell or whatever.
Yeah, that's what they do in Branson.
Jay, you're being quiet today.
Yeah.
Well,
What's wrong?
Are you okay? Are you not feeling very good, or
No, I feel fine. I feel good.
You look like you were wanting to say something while I was talking about.
Just
He's got one of those.
Got nothing
It's
to
one of
say
those
about it.
days where
It's
there's
interesting.
not much
got
to
nothing to submit.
say.
Probably shouldn't.
Like Come and Go is still operational,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and you can still go in there. Are there any limitations there?
Well, I don't know, but I think I just don't. I don't want to say anything about it.
It's been that kind
Well, I
of.
told you about this last week.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I thought about that, especially considering the other part of it. And I don't think we should talk about it.
No,
I really
we
don't,
shouldn't.
Because
Not
I'm
here on the air.
very upset
Yeah,
right now.
I am
And
very confused.
I think this is not. I mean,
Well, there's a lot of stores out there that people aren't sure if they're doing business or not.
so suppose now you say that
It's a
so-and-so
service.
is in business right now and servicing people as a public service announcement, but then you don't publicly serve. You don't serve the public by announcing another one. You miss one. Then you may be open for a lawsuit. But you can't do a review of of something you.
We're not
actually-
going to talk about it on the air. We're not going to talk about that. I was just trying. We'll talk about it off the air. We'll talk about it off the air. That part of it, because we had that discussion out in the parking lot the other day,
Right.
and then Anyways, so yeah.
On to another subject.
Well,
But you can't tell a story using the name. Just telling.
we're not going to talk about it on the air. We're not going to talk about that on the air. I
Yeah.
think that's we
That's
shouldn't.
not good.
That's off air talk.
Right.
Right.
Can I ask you something? Is the blood coming out of my eyeball again?
It is.
It is.
It's probably-
starting to.
Is it worse than what it was?
Earlier, yeah, it's worse.
Yeah,
than
Great. That's
yeah.
blood pressure.
I was gonna say
Have you
Friday.
checked your
It
blood
was
pressure?
like really red.
No,
on
I just
Saturday.
wait till my eyes start to bleed. That tells me that it's up pretty high.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
Have you been checking it? Have you had your doctor check it?
Not in a while. No.
You probably
No.
should.
It's probably pretty high right now.
It probably.
Yeah. So
I thought that was my phone, and it's like
no, it's mine.
Oh, it's not mine.
Right.
My Pastor Jeremy, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to the show. Welcome to the party, as Matt would say.
Right.
That's our pastor, Pastor Jeremy Thomas. He's the pastor of First Baptist Church, Branson. See, I can say First Baptist Church of Branson without a problem.
Yeah, well, they're also
The church.
which is I think that's completely fine.
Actually,
Yeah.
sometimes they don't want you to
You just-
mention their name.
Why is that?
I don't know. I've heard that. That doesn't mean it's true.
Well,
I've
it's
heard
like
that.
the knives that I've purchased on eBay. I asked permission to talk about their site on there, and I haven't received permission yet, so I'm not mentioning the names. But I will say they're very fine blades. They're
also-
very nice.
From the
blades.
one that you
Nice.
just showed me, yes.
I will say, unfortunately, a lot of
The
the
big
times,
one is better.
whenever you
Beautiful, too.
reach out to people like that, they do not respond. Companies,
Well,
I've
I tried,
talked to
but
them.
About what?
I tried to see if they would give me permission to talk about their eBay site.
Yeah.
Where where they sell from,
Oh.
because I mean their site is named after a very very well known show, and I didn't want to. They've got big lawyers, those people do, and I didn't want to be. I mean, who wouldn't want somebody to give their stuff a good review, especially since I told them, dude, I love your knives. These knives are awesome.
Yeah.
If I had the money, I would buy one of every single thing that they have. I'd buy them out.
I think, Rachel,
they're
correct
beautiful.
me if I'm wrong, but I think Stephanie either has a samurai sword or she borrowed-
samurai?
Samurai,
Or a katana.
something like that.
I
Yeah.
said- I don't know if there's a difference between the two.
I think there
I
is. I think a samurai sword is
Stephanie
longer.
would know.
I think a katana is considered. They use a katana and another shorter,
The
like
shorter one
katana.
is the katana, I think, and then the samurai sword is the longer one.
I know they're beautiful. They're
They are.
a real Japanese katana takes months to make.
Now, did you use your little new tool, sharpening tool on that?
Good morning, Jana.
I can't get that thing. It's for kitchen knives. It's not. It doesn't have. I want one that clamps and everything's tightens down.
Oh yeah.
What I really want is a belt sander specifically for sharpening knives that has the wedges that you attach to the knife, and you just go and it keeps it at the perfect angle each time. Anyways, what were you saying?
I was just saying, good morning, Jana.
Oh, good morning, Jana. So, but yeah, the samurai sword. They what they do is it's made of just making the steel, the carbon steel that goes into it, is like a 4 or 5 day process, and there has to be, and it's an ancient guy that has trained his whole life. They build the ovens up out of clay for one-time use. When it's done, they have to tear the whole oven down apart and then
that's
pull
a
out
real
the
clay
chunks
oven.
of carbon steel.
Because they clay ovens, but I didn't think that's a true clay oven.
So how expensive is it? And I assume that the reason why they have to tear it down every time is probably because how they make the steel and how they probably want it the purest.
Well, and it takes people that have been apprenticed their entire life to do it, even to polish the sword. Have you ever seen that? There's a documentary about it, and the guy that polishes it is an old guy and his apprentice, and he has these little itty-bitty stones that he pulls out of a bowl of water and sits there and polishes it. Like, I'm telling you, it's a very involved process. If you ever wondered why they're into thousands of dollars to buy an actual, authentic, handmade Damascus katana, that's why. Because they take it very, very seriously. It's really hard to even get out of the country with one. Because they're considered like relics.
Wow.
You know, like, I'm trying to think of there's my Biden impression
I
again.
was just gonna say you're doing it again.
I mean, they're amazing the way they
show
do
is
it.
called
They're
Matt's
actually
Impressions.
straight before the quench. They're like completely straight before the quench, and the way they do it is they heat it up, and they put clay on the edge to keep it from hardening too hard, or on the back part.
Otherwise, the blade will break.
Otherwise, the blade will break. And when they
Thank you,
heat it
Dr.
up and they
Jim.
put it in the water, it warps up the way they do it. If they do it wrong, it won't have that curve. So they're beautiful though. And then the hand carving of the handle or the I don't know. I guess you could call it a handle on those.
Or grip.
A grip, yeah. Because a lot of times you can't see the artwork underneath the silk wrapping that goes around the
You need
grip.
to put a grip on it.
And most katanas are two-handed blades because they're pretty long. Pretty long.
So, yeah, and actually, historically, most swords have always been two-handed blades because, I mean, they're weapons and they're made of pure metal.
We're talking about knives again. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm on the impression
Remember about a
counter.
week or two ago?
We got
Oh, yeah,
two
and knives and
impressions so far.
motorcycles.
We have 2 impressions so far. I will say that much.
People
See, I told
tuned
you I
in to
listened
check
to
it
the
out.
show.
The same person. Yeah.
Larry wants to talk to you and I, Jay, off air. So,
Larry.
Melton.
Larry Melton.
Oh, yeah?
He's gonna give us some. When he gets his hogs butchered, he's gonna give us some
I
shoulders.
need to go get my Jeep out
That's
there.
great. Just don't eat
It's
it all
just
in
sitting
5
there.
minutes.
And I need to sell it.
All right, so I'm going to look at an email.
Don't eat all the pig in 5 minutes.
No, that's another thing.
Pig
All right,
feet.
so I got to tell you
Ooh,
this.
pig
All right,
feet.
so I smoked ribs the other day. It was day before yesterday, right before I went to work. Right?
I'm sure
right
it was
before.
awesome.
It was. They were
Oh, they're
absolutely
so good.
amazing. So.
Yes.
Rachel really loved the pulled pork. She really loved it.
So I cut one of the racks in half
Yeah.
and gave half to Mom and Dad, and I had half for me, and then I gave him one whole rack minus one of the end pieces because
Yeah.
I took that as a tester, but that's my right.
That's right.
So I cut them all up and everything, and I have his all sitting there. I think there was 9 ribs there, give or take.
Yeah, there's a lot.
All right, there was a lot.
And these aren't skinny ribs.
No, they were fat ribs.
Yeah, they're like this big,
That's
big
when you know
long.
they're good.
And then the rack is like this long. It was, so good.
So
How long?
he's on his second one. When Dad had called, said, "Hey, I'm headed down the street. I'm coming up. Could you go open the gate?" And he got us a gallon of milk because he was already there at the store. And I said, "Okay." And so I went out there, opened the gate, closed the gate, gave Dad his half rack of ribs, and grabbed the milk. And by the time I went in there, he had eaten all but 3 of the ribs.
You're a little
And this
hungry
was
there?
this was in within a span of like 5 to 7 minutes.
Just a little hungry, are you?
So, and these are heavily smoked ribs, by the way.
Holy
So
smoke.
I go to work, and I think, what was it, 9 or 10 o'clock? He
It's like
calls
5
me.
hours later.
Dad, I feel nauseous. Dad, I feel sick. I'm like, well, you did just eat like 7 or 8 ribs in like 5 minutes. So, yeah, you're gonna feel
I go
nauseous.
fair point.
He said fair point. And he's like, I don't want to throw up. I'm like, no, I know. Nobody wants to throw up. That's not good.
And did you?
No. he
No.
didn't.
It would have felt
that's-
actually. It would if I threw up right then, I would have felt really, really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that feeling
That's
when you
bad
just
when you're
want to.
nauseous and it just doesn't
Except
go
for
away
the
for
rib
a
meat
while.
spewing out your
Oh my
nose
God. Yeah.
and your face.
Yeah.
I didn't even eat my ribs after that because I started thinking about that. And
Yeah,
I
I
was
just had indigestion.
And the ribs decided they weren't so good anymore.
Did you eat them later?
like, oh, yeah.
Once the nauseous went away.
A lot of times whenever I smoke meat all day long, I don't want to eat it after I'm done smoking it. Because I've nipped on it all day.
Right,
you know,
that's
cut a
what
little piece.
anybody
Oh,
does
no.
when they personally
Between
smoke.
nipping
Very
it
good.
and the smoke, and the
Yeah.
It-
And then,
it
so like
can't
the
get to
next
ya.
day, it tastes so much better to me.
Yeah.
I don't.
day old smoked.
Well, I work around barbecue all the time, like 6 days a week, every week. So I get tired of barbecue sometimes, but I will say that the place that I work at their food is so good. I don't want to say, obviously I'm not going to say where I work on here. But it is
Insert name here.
Yeah, insert name.
Look at insert name here. Yeah.
Insert name here. It has the best barbecue. It's been in a few magazines as one of the best barbecue places. I think it's been on TV like twice, but it's actually one of the most famous mom and pop's barbecue shops ever. It turns out there's a place where one of the old employees, they quit. They moved to another state, and then they opened their own like coastal barbecue place. They took all the recipes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's bad. There's a lot of barbecue places in Branson, and some of them are new, some of them are old but getting new menu items and things. And
Yeah.
there's one place that's just unbelievable with barbecue, and we're gonna go back and we're gonna talk to the guy and see if maybe we can't mention his name on the air.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't. It's not like he needs the business, but it would help.
All right, so I'm going to read this real quick since we're going to take time to do a little bit of a commercial here. This was an email sent. Urgent request. April matching funds needed. All right, so great news. Axe Media Group is perfectly positioned to reach thousands with a message of calm, hope, and faith during this time. And we are doing so like never before. For many, we are the word that is heard. That's a new movement that we're going
Word
through.
with
The
a
word
heard.
that is heard, and the only voice of reassurance in this uncertain time. Concerning news, though, some of our regular supporters are not able to give at this time due to income loss, due to the COVID-19 and things like that. Axe Media is running at a $301.45 deficit each week, and can only do so for a few more weeks. The opportunity through April 30th, when you give online, your donation is matched dollar for dollar. It's matched dollar for dollar till April 30th. So
That's
we're running out of
awesome.
time, folks. If you want to give and make sure you get the most for the buck that you're giving, this is definitely the month to do it, because
We would
dollar
really
for dollar
enjoy that.
matching. We want to continue to expand our programming because we got 2 other shows that are in the chute, waiting to be recorded or broadcast after all this COVID stuff is done. So yeah, we're asking to partner with you guys to do that. So go online to axmediagroup.com/please-donate to help us out, and also go on there at just axmediagroup.com and check out all the stuff we got on there. We got the Real News Review and Helping Hands funds and all that stuff. So and while you're scrolling down, you'll see a big Donate Now button on your right-hand side, and that'll take you to our PayPal page, which is where we'll be matched dollar for dollar is on PayPal. So go online and check it out today, and look at the stuff that we've got going on. Anyways, back to you guys.
Yeah, and there's a lot of work that goes into kind of stuff
Amanda
like this.
Snyder, welcome to the show.
And I
Johnny
didn't
Rooster.
realize, like, so there was a miscommunication. I'm working on obviously, I'm working on
Good morning, Myrna.
my
I hope you're doing
own-
well.
my own show, and we're building from the ground up, and there's a lot of work that goes into this. And I'm really seeing how much actually goes into something like this. Because
There's a lot more than people realize.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're building from the ground up, because I was of the understanding at first that the person whose network I'm going to be on has their own studio, but I found out that most of their studio equipment is available through their phone and I think a USB mic. But I'm like, that's not the kind of stuff that I want to use. I want to get more of even if it's a basic production quality, some nice mics. Like I have a nice recording mic at home, and some.
You can donate with a credit card besides PayPal, also. By the way,
But there's a lot
I
that
just
goes
got that
into it,
message.
and not only that, but in the planning of a show, like in
we don't plan here.
No, there's no planning.
Planning's for wuss.
Except we plan on
That's-
doing a show every day,
Yep.
Okay,
That's the only planning we
5
do.
days a week anyway.
I mean, I'd talk about it more, but I don't want to like advertise my show on this show because I don't want to overstep my boundaries.
And
We
who
never-
doesn't?
We never overstep our
Well, it's
boundaries
because-
here.
The reality is-
there's no such word.
Well, it's because
Never.
I mean, if you got, it's because
Yes.
I mean, a verbal promotion, obviously, but it's like kind of. Well,
I mean, don't
he's
worry,
doing a
you're-
Joe Biden
I'm
thing.
on a different. I'm trying to be respectful,
Joe
and I'm
Biden
trying to be
impressions
careful
today.
with how I say this because it's not. It's obviously not bad. I'm just trying to be respectful of the network that I'm on because I know that mine is going to be on a different network, and so there's no legalities in that. Not for my purposes, anyways. If there was, I would be in charge of it, obviously, but I don't know. But I was just meaning to say that there's a lot that goes into it, and I'm very excited about it, and I do want to talk about it, but I don't think that this is the time or place, probably.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Well,
hey,
we're unscripted.
we are definitely unscripted.
It seems like we're gonna more and more need one, probably.
Well, but
It depends on the
No, I
subject matter.
And that's another tough thing is deciding, like, if you were to be scripted, what you're going to do, what you're going to talk about.
that means you'd have to have a team of writers working constantly.
That's not necessarily
with
true. We do a rough.
lawyers.
What I'm doing is a rough
Yeah,
outline.
lawyers.
What I'm doing
That's
is
a real thing.
It is.
They
but-
have lawyers that read the scripts and make sure that they're on the up and up on the big productions and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, and you don't really need that until your audience grows to a certain size because you don't start getting a whole bunch of, you don't start really getting into dicey territories or pertains to legalities until you get enough recognition. That's what I've
We're
noticed
getting we're
watching-
there.
Yeah, I know you guys
We're
are.
there.
No,
We're
I know
there.
you guys are,
think
but
we
I'm
got a few
saying
people out
by
there.
watching other people who do shows grow, I've noticed that they don't really have a point to where they need a lawyer until they become to a certain level. Because whenever you get to a certain level of recognition, there are people that are going to hate you, whether it's because they're jealous or envious of you, or whether it's because they don't believe in what you stand for and they just want to shut you up. Those are really the two.
There's a
things.
little there's a little bit of that everywhere on all sides. There's I don't know. There's always somebody to offend. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, somebody's going to take something wrong, and then you're going to hear about it, and then you got to go through all the,
Because we're not woke, I guess.
well, luckily I know somebody who's.
Sorry, he said that earlier, and I
I've been
told him
using
not
it
to
all
overuse
morning.
that word
I
today.
told him about the word woke and how there are two different groups that use it. One basically uses it in jest because they think it's hilarious how much how much people use it to refer to aligning with certain. What the heck?
Okay, so we
hello. Bye, Birdie. Isn't that?
Yes.
that is an English finch.
He's trying to get out of here.
Yeah, and I shouldn't have.
Wow.
I shouldn't have
Whoa.
left the windows open, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, is there no screen?
No, there's no
It's still in this.
Oh, yeah.
It's still.
There he goes.
Oh,
He's
he
gone
came
now.
back in.
He
Or
found
he
his
will
way
be
out.
soon if he didn't get out that
Oh
time.
boy.
That's all. Oh, okay, let's see if you get. Yeah, you can almost. Dude, that is priceless. Oh
What is that
man,
about unscripted again?
just watching that bird is definitely unscripted.
Yeah.
That was funny. Have you seen all of us moving yet? We all,
No.
Today we have
all of our stuff. We were all like,
a special guest on the show.
yeah.
Birdie.
Somebody gave us the bird.
Bye bye, Birdie.
Did it? I may have missed it.
It looked like
Oh,
a little
it-
English finch.
All of a sudden, I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
I wonder
I
if
don't-
there's. I got to figure out the replayability on
Michael Phillips, good morning.
Hey, Michael.
this. Is that somebody?
I've
you
had
know?
a conversation. Well, I've had a conversation with him before. I think he knows a. What the heck was that?
It was
Oh.
bird poop.
That's disgusting.
Somebody, the bird doesn't like you.
Did it just now fly over you?
No,
When it came
was,
through
it
the
landed
first
when
time.
it first came
It
through.
was terrified, apparently.
We scared it.
Oh, that's too
Hey,
funny.
but the bird got on the air.
Disgusting.
Oh man, that
That's
is
also
so funny.
Unscripted.
Gross. You can go wash your hands if you want.
Yeah, I think you better go to
Take
the
your
bathroom.
headphones off.
Boy, I wonder how the ratings are going to go for today.
That is so funny. That is so funny. There is a delay on this.
It's a crappy show.
Pretty crappy show. Someone gave us the bird, and then all of a sudden it's a crappy
Did
show.
somebody give us the bird?
Yeah,
Oh no, you mean the bird that
the
came
bird
in.
that came in. Yeah.
Yeah, that bird.
That see, you can't script that stuff, folks. That
No.
just
No,
that's
see how much fun unscripted can be.
Yeah.
That was live,
that is
folks.
too funny.
See, live shows are fun because you never know what's going to come up next.
So I can't figure out the video delay on this. I know there's a
We
there's a
should do
way
s-
to do a where you go back or rewind or
You should do a slow mo.
Is there one?
There is a way,
Oh.
and I don't know how to do it.
Oh, that would be so cool
really
to do a
don't.
slow mo. Everybody's reaction.
That is so funny, man.
I'm,
So
I'm-
now, while Tanner's over washing his hand,
I know that I'm going to hear it from Rachel now.
I just, we may as well end the show with that. That's just too funny. We're not going to be able to
Is
top
it
that.
time?
No, it's 8:44.
the Biden impressions went out the window with the bird,
Yeah, we should have named this. Let's see if the bird poops on somebody.
and it almost did.
Because I thought to myself, wow, the bird didn't poop anywhere. That's great. And then all of a
what I
sudden he
was
goes,
thinking
ew,
too.
what's that?
Yeah, right? I go to gesture, and then all of a sudden, here we go. Well, that was pretty crappy.
Yeah, we've already.
We already said that.
We said it like 3
Of
times.
course. Of course you have.
Oh man,
Oh,
Stealing my one
this show went into the crapper.
this show is for the birds. I tell you.
Yeah.
Let's see how many more bad bird puns we can
Yeah.
do today.
It's okay. Bird puns are pretty fly in my
Yeah,
opinion. though.
Oh man, see, we're on a roll.
yeah.
Yeah.
The bird got the word.
Now I'm wondering.
Yeah, right? It's like, maybe
It's like
He
It's a-
did fly right
Was
over
that a
cup.
sign?
this coffee tastes like crap.
Well, see,
That's
hey,
'cause it is
you never
crap.
know. That bird could have done something in the coffee.
It's a bit nutsy. Sorry.
Oh man, I'm speaking of that.
No.
It's coming up.
Gross.
It's coming up Thursday.
Okay. Jim said, "Is there a reason Tanner was pooped on?"
Well, the way he was going at it, talking and everything, it's just like
Doesn't look like it skipped off you. Oh, there is something wet on your coat right there. Did it pee too?
No.
No, well, they pee
Do
and
you see
poop
it?
at the same
That's
time.
water.
That's
Right.
why
that's
it's like,
what that brown was.
That's water. It's water.
Gotcha.
Oh, sure. I was gonna. Wow.
That's right. They have one. They don't have a urinary tract and a.
yeah.
They have to do
you're
it all
talking
in-
about the
they have to
anatomy
do
of
it all
birds.
in
It's
one.
really gross.
Mm-hmm.
They pee and poo at the same time.
All right. That's great.
I wish I could do that, but
That's great. That's really cool.
That's great.
it's this guy.
Now,
I get
Joe,
pooped
I
on.
would
I get pooped on better than anybody. Just Better than there ever was.
I was worried that if we started this show, we would get the tables wet, though. I was worried that
We did, sort of.
since we started this, I mean, now you've done 3 impressions. I mean, you've done 2 of Biden. You've done 1 of...
Well, people don't know those were Biden impressions. They were just my
Oh, yes,
moments of
that's right.
They were
confusion.
They're not
Matt-isms.
any... Yeah, that's right. They're my father's moments of confusion. I was just... It was
That
a
should be a coffee table book. Could you imagine?
Great. I got myself in...
Just pictures in crayon.
Yeah.
What is that?
Blank pages.
No, just like pictures in crayon of like the crazy things, just real vague pictures where it's like it could be more than 1 or 2 things. Just call it Matt's.
Great. You see,
Tales
the
of
thing
confusion.
is like I literally just said that, and I was about to say,
Michael
man, I'm in
Phillips,
hot
you're
water
funny.
now. But really,
Cheap,
anybody
cheap,
that
cheap.
knows me already knows my thoughts on that. So
On what? Your
As it
father's
pertains-
moments of confusion?
no, it's because of
Michael Miller,
politics.
good morning.
Michael Phillips, he knows a lot of people that I know.
Give him a finch, you'll take a mile. Because it was a finch. You guys didn't see that it was a finch. All you saw was a little feather wing here, and then us ducking whenever it flew over
And
us.
then and then Tanner got
Do
a
a
little
poop
surprise later.
Poop check.
No, and then, he didn't check until
I had a baby bird land on my shoulder one time when I lived over on the north side, because it was up. The mother had laid their eggs, and it was in where the attic fan was. We never ran the attic fan or the big exhaust fan, but it just kept cheaping and cheaping and cheaping. So I had one of my skinnier friends go up and get the bird out, and it kind of did a little fly and landed on my shoulder. And there was a picture of me looking at it like this somewhere. And I was telling it, don't you dare poop on my shoulder. Don't you dare. You know what he did?
pooped on your
Pooped on my
shoulder.
shoulder. He learned how to fly, though.
I'm sure he did after you helped him.
I made sure there wasn't a wall there.
It's your fault. You scared the crap out of it.
Well, it was looking at me, and I was looking at it. And it was like,
Should I or shouldn't I? I'm sorry, I already did.
Santa Nadim. God bless you. Good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Chris Deddens.
See, you're seeing all these names, and I am not.
That's because they're on
It's
my
on your watch
party.
Got it.
Except for Jana. Jana, I don't know if she's on YouTube or what.
I need to log into YouTube and see. Well, Jay's always watching. You're always on YouTube, aren't you?
Oh, I'm on there. Yeah.
But is Jana? Can you see her name?
I see that there are 2.
I've got 2.
Well, good to see you, Jana. We haven't forgot about you. We just didn't see you.
Do you see what can happen whenever you just open
By the way,
a
you
window?
owe her a CD.
I got it. I just don't have. I owe you a CD to send to her, right?
Yeah.
So,
So, Jana, if you're still listening, you heard it.
the
here.
title "Bird Bombs the Morning Drive." That is a good. That is a
Hey,
good
that's
title, Jim.
Just retitle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It'd be more appropriate, honestly, for this episode.
Yes.
It really would.
It's been a half.
are you
crappy
trying to say
show.
this is a crappy show?
Well, it turned into one.
Thanks to the bird. The thought of a bird possibly coming in through these windows never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Not
Never.
mine.
They're huge windows. I mean, like, it should
I don't have it all the way. I only have
That's
it
the
open like
thing
this.
is we
I
didn't
thought the
even-
bird was going to
Really?
run into the window, though.
It did run into the window. That's why we all looked up. It's like thunk.
Or
saw it
ready
coming.
for the bird to
Did you?
drop.
I thought it was outside
great.
at first.
But it flew out. You watched him fly that way
Yep.
and fly out.
Yeah.
I saw him fly that way. I didn't see him
He
fly
might
out.
still be there.
Might be.
He might be listening to what we're saying.
I'm sure he got out, though.
Well, we're gonna go ahead. Wait, we still got a couple minutes.
It's time for a commercial.
Ed of Virginia, I'm not sure who it is, but welcome to the party.
Virginia.
Actually, Janine or Ed aren't.
What?
Janine or Ed aren't.
Janine or Ed aren't.
Is that a
Aren't
last
what?
That's their last name.
Oh, I thought you were saying
name?
they
That
are
confused-
not.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about that this morning. Aren't.
Aren't.
Isn't.
Ain't isn't in a word, is it?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is a word. Yes.
It's just. I mean, technically, they add it to the dictionary of slang. They added to the dictionary as slang.
Well, the whole dictionary is pretty much slang for the most part.
It is now.
If it's the American language, we use a lot of slang. You know, I heard somewhere, and this has not been researched by me, but that the accent we have now used to be like in England, before we came over here, was like the upper echelon accent, like.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
And then, like, the actual peasant speech is the speech that the way they speak now. I don't know
Weird
if that's true.
cultural
If you're from
differences?
London or England or they're the same
We could
place,
talk
I
to
think.
Amber.
Could you
Um,
confirm?
Yeah.
Either way, we just love your accent. That's the thing.
We could talk to Amber and see what she said.
Yeah. Yeah, because her husband's from what they say across the pond.
Yes.
Here's the
pretty
thing
big
too.
pond.
Here's the thing too is that and I've said this before, and I know plenty of
I was
people
pooped
that
on by a pelican once.
the things that people that study languages even say this. That's that
That's a lot of.
it's really not.
It was a shower.
They may consider it improper, but it's really another dialect. Because
thought
there
it was
are
raining.
Good morning, Brian
massive
Sizemore.
regions of people that speak a certain way, and that way may be different than what we're used to as proper English, right? Which I understand there should
I think
be.
a lot of that depends on whether or not you're speaking or writing, whether or not there's a context or whether or not it's an original thought. Those things make a difference about the interpretation or how somebody understands something. That's why when you text something, it can be taken completely.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I already
opposite.
learned that lesson.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I understand that, and I think that that's important. It is important that we have this standard of, okay, this is the most educated you can get as it pertains to speaking a language or writing something scholarly, right? So for communication purposes, I understand, but for every day, there is a difference in dialect. Like the East Coast and the South, they speak completely differently than the
No way.
Midwest than the Midwest does.
It's time for us to get out of here, though.
That's
No
unfortunate.
way.
I know.
Man, it just runs away from.
It
And
does.
But by the way, I won't be on the morning drive in the morning. I've got to go see the heart doctor.
The heart doctor?
The heart doctor.
Because you could be talking about a doctor who is hot.
Yeah, the heart. Well, the way he.
Oh, the
says
hot doctor.
it- Yeah, the way he says it. You know, the hot doctor.
Oh, is he from New England?
No.
Oh.
Chinese.
Oh,
Or
well, we'll
Jap-
stop there.
Yeah,
Anyways, I'd like to thank everybody for
Let's-
joining us on the morning drive today. We'll be back on tomorrow, same time, same channel. Be sure and tune in next for
Right.
Steve-O Mickey Mac's show, Brighter Living Live. Took me a second. It's been a few weeks.
With Brian Duncan.
With
can't
Brian
find
Duncan on the phone.
Yes.
Can we we can't promise there's a bird on that show, can we?
Oh
No,
no.
can't promise a bird.
It might come. It might drop by again. Who knows?
You never know.
It
You'll
might
just-
drop by too.
All of a sudden, you see me running through with a tennis racket. One of those
Poor
electrical.
Brian. He's
Do you
gonna
have-
go.
you-
What
do
the
you don't
heck
have
is
one
going
here?
on?
No, I don't. I wouldn't electrocute a bird. I'd scream like a girl when it dive bombs my head. But I've had that happen a couple times mowing the field. They get serious. They get serious. They dive bomb you.
Crows are nasty.
I liked watching the cats when we used to have a bunch of outside cats. You'd be sitting there pestering the birds, and the birds would be dive bombing them. They just duck. Watch them duck. It was funny. Anyways, we'll talk
Goose.
about that tomorrow. So until next time, my friends, God bless you and keep you. We love you. My name is Matt,
My name is Jay.
My name is Steve.
My name is Tanner.
and this has been the
Morning
Morning Drive.